Well, all good things have to come to an end. On the floor this morning, but one's still hanging on, still hanging in there. It's gonna fall off any minute. Now, worth noting, I haven't got my Vanda bucket up and running since I got here. Mainly because I haven't started using the RO unit, which I will have to do today. I'm down to my last two 2 litre bottles of water, so I've got enough to water my mounts and then I'm out of water basically, so I have to get the RO unit going. Now the tap is out there. It looks like it has a normal hose connector, but I haven't checked that out yet, and if it hasn't I shall have to go and get something suitable, because I have to get the RO unit going today or tomorrow. Now I'm gonna have to have a sort out there and get all these leaves and that out of the way, and the hose pipes, I don't need that, to find out where the drain is, and this is where we start using up some water. But at least this time of year I'm using a lot less water than under normal circumstances, and I have decided that I will clean the roof off, I will clean the gutters out, and I will start collecting rainwater, because I know a couple of people at the Orchid Societies that have got something that they put in their rain barrels that purifies the water. Now, as long as I can do that, I'll be happy to use the rainwater in addition to, or even if possible, replacing the RO water, but that is yet to be seen. I need to see the quality of the water that I can collect. But yeah, so RO unit, I'm missing my bench. At the other house I used to have a bench in front of the tap, which was just the right height to put the RO unit on, with the overflow directly above the drain and the outlet obviously directly above the Vanda bucket, which used to just tuck underneath the bench, and everything worked great. Now here I'm going to have to fiddle, I'm going to have to faff, because I've got nowhere to put the RO unit. It needs to be up above the height of the Vanda bucket obviously, and there's nothing to put it on. I'll have to take a chair outside or something, which, you know, that would limit my operations to only being in dry weather for a start, because it'd be one of my indoor chairs. I will get something sorted out, but I need to get the RO unit going today. It's very cold outside. It was below zero at dawn this morning. The frost is still on the roofs. So we are having a cold snap, but it's supposed to be getting a bit warmer as the weekend goes. But anyway, just as a matter of interest, the first bloom on this Vanda spike opened on the 24th of September. So that spike has lasted nearly 4 months. Now, the last time this Vanda spiked in the summer, it didn't last anywhere near that length of time. So by spiking towards the end of the summer and on into the winter, it's enabled these blooms to last an absolute age. But I do need to get my Vanda bucket going. Pouring water on these Vanda roots just about works in these temperatures, when the plants aren't really growing hardly at all basically. I mean, there is growth going on at the top, you know, I mean, there's a new leaf coming, but they slow right down in the winter with the temperatures and the short days, so lack of water at this time of year is not going to do any harm, and the roots just about hydrate enough to keep the plant going okay by pouring water over them, but they need a good soak. And this year there's going to be quite a few other plants go in the Vanda bucket. There's things like this cattleya here. These roots don't hydrate by pouring water over them. They stay white. You know, they need to soak to get that going. And when there's excessive aerial roots on a plant, that could do with the soak. See, now that's an oncidium type, that's dancing lady. So there are some plants that would benefit from a good soak on their, this would need a good soak. Now, during the warmer weather, I chuck the whole plant in upside down, so the plant goes in the water as well. And there's other plants that would benefit from a soak, and it's basically you can see them. The Rhinantheras go in the Vanda bucket along with the Vandas, obviously, but it's basically plants that have aerial roots, substantial aerial roots, without very little backup of other types. See, like on this plant, there are some roots in amongst the moss. They will hydrate fine. But it's getting to the point where there's more roots not in the moss than in the moss. they're not hydrating properly, so that needs a soak. Yeah, that will probably go in for a soak as well. So it's things with excessive aerial roots that need some time for those roots to hydrate properly. And obviously this time of year the Vanda bucket would need warming up because the water would be far too cold to use directly. So some changes on the way, and the RO unit's got to get going. But I thought that Vanda spike was pretty impressive. Almost 4 months. If this can hang on another 3 days, then it would be 4 months. But as near as damn it, 4 months for a Vanda spike. I think that's pretty good going. I don't know. Other Vandas that I've known of don't seem to last anywhere near that long. Certainly the orange one I've got doesn't. But yeah, an impressive spike, large impressive flowers, and the plant just seems to push on and on. It's getting bigger and bigger, and the root system's getting it's getting to the point where it won't go in the bucket. It has to go in 2 halves. So I have to put it in the bucket like that and then like that to get both sides, you know. But I'm happy to do that to get that display of flowers. It's well worth it. So anyway, RO water needed soon. So as it's definitely not going to rain today, although it's cold out there, I think I'll stick my coat on and get out there and try and set something up and get it working and start the old Vanda bucket filling up. And then what I have to do is I have to go out there every now and again with a jug and pour the water out of the Vanda bucket into my normal storage water containers. And just keep doing that. Just go out there every now and again as the bucket starts to get full, and use a jug to empty it into the containers. And it usually takes, to do all of the containers, if they were all empty, takes most of the day. But normally I don't exactly start at dawn. But yeah, I definitely need to get some more water on the go. I'm down to 2 of those containers, the size of the ones with the green tops. That's all the water I've got left now. Everything else has been used up. So we get some more on the go, and yeah. It's Friday today, I think. I lose track. And tomorrow I've got Orchid Society meeting. It's a Zoom meeting. We're doing what's called a brains trust, which under normal circumstances you have a panel of people, and people bring in their problem plants or plants that they'd like advice on, and hand the plant over to the panel, who give it a good look over and make comments. Trying to do that on Zoom is not going to be very easy, and I'm on the panel, so I've got to work out the best way to sort of do this. We're limited to how well people can hold their plants up to the camera and show the bits of the plants, you know, for us to be able to comment on. But there's 2 of us on the panel. The president's on the panel as well. They're a very long-term knowledgeable grower. Judge, qualified judge as well, and then there's just me. But Lynn asked me to do it, and I'm quite happy to step in. You know, it's that's the thing with society stuff. If everybody keeps backing away from doing the chores, then nothing gets done, and it will fail. It will fade away and become non-existent. So, you know, I was asked, I will step up and I'll give it a go. I might not be brilliant at it, and if I'm lousy at it, I doubt if I'll get asked again. But oops. Yeah, it's that time of day. The fan and the heater's just kicked on, so I'll leave it at that. But I just thought I'd show you the Vanda spike in its death throes. The old toes have turned up now on the spike, but the plant's okay. Not growing well, but it survives the winter and gets going again when the longer days and better temperatures start. And it puts on a fair bit of growth each year. It's doing well. See you next time. Bit added on the end. There was a gap. Sometimes our vision of ourself can become clouded with age. I'm a hardy sort, and the cold doesn't normally affect me, as heat doesn't really affect me. I've got a very wide comfort zone under normal circumstances. Now, I've just been outside to sort out the RO unit, and first of all, there is a bench here. So I have got somewhere to put the RO unit. The drain was buried under dirt and leaves and goodness knows what. There's been some poor maintenance in places around here, and a lot of it is just due to the debris from that huge oak tree. Anyway, I've sort of dug out the drain. It had a cover on it, you can see that on the end of the bench, and I've lifted that off. I got it all ready, and it suddenly dawned on me that my glasses were misting up and forming crystals. It's -2 out there in that shady corner, and I'm not getting the RO unit out in that. And as I realised, I panicked. I thought, oh no, if that RO unit is in the shed, it's probably ruined the membrane. Because the membrane itself holds water, if that freezes, and it freezes at a higher temperature than 0 because of the very fine membrane in there, I thought if that's frozen, that membrane's useless. It'll just wipe it out. So I've searched the whole shed and thought, the RO unit's not in there. What the hell is it? Honestly, I've left it round the other house. It's under my nose. So it's safe and sound in here and won't be but I'm not taking it out in these temperatures, because even though it would have water running through it, it's not worth the risk for a day. The temperatures are coming up during today. The warm fronts or high pressure or whatever's needed is coming in today, and we won't get the hard frost overnight, so we'll be back up to, well, I would say somewhere near normal. It's still winter, still the dead of winter, but you know, I'm not putting the RO unit out in sub-zero temperatures in case it gets damaged. It's just not worth it. The tap connector looks like a perfectly normal one, so the RO unit will just push on there. That's okay. I've now got a bench to put it on. I can arrange it such that the outlet goes straight down the drain, and the Vanda bucket will fit underneath and catch the water. So very, very similar setup to last time round. So thank goodness for that. As I said, I went out there in my open-toed sandals and socks, and even my feet were starting to get cold. I don't ever get cold feet. I've never had cold feet in my life. But even my toes were starting to tingle. It's cold out there. Dead still as well. It's a good job too. If there was a wind chill as well, it wouldn't be very nice out there. And yet, we've got blue sky and sunshine. Got sunshine all round. But it belies the underlying temperature in this dark, shady corner here. So no RO unit today. I'll have to find something else to play with, won't I? Bye for now.